Plymouth at 8 degrees, Aberdeen at 11. Yes, you heard that correctly. The southwest currently colder than the far north of Scotland, and this temperature inversion is just the beginning of what is shaping up to be one of the most volatile weeks we've seen this winter. Is your area about to face a complete weather reversal in the next 72 hours? Right now, the Met Office has amber warnings active for 6 counties across England and Wales. We're talking about over 4 million people currently dealing with flood alerts, and what's coming next could catch many by surprise. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to break down exactly when conditions change for your specific location, which areas face the most dramatic shifts, and why tomorrow's forecast update is absolutely critical. Drop your location in the comments right now, and I will prioritize those areas in tomorrow's detailed breakdown. I genuinely want to help you prepare for what's heading your way. Right then, let me deliver on that promise immediately. London, you are sitting at 9 degrees this afternoon, climbing to 12 by tomorrow evening, but here is the catch. Rain arrives around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, heavy through the evening commute. Manchester, currently 7 degrees, tomorrow 10, rain pushing in earlier around 2 o'clock. Birmingham at 8 degrees now, 11 tomorrow, staying mostly dry until Thursday evening. Glasgow, you are the warmest major city today at 12 degrees, dropping to 10 tomorrow with showers overnight. Cardiff at 9 degrees, rising to 13 tomorrow, but the heaviest rain of anywhere in the UK arrives Thursday night. Belfast, 8 degrees today, 9 tomorrow with persistent drizzle. Now, before we dive deeper, there's one detail causing genuine concern amongst meteorologists, and I will reveal exactly what that is in about 4 minutes. It involves the jet stream position and what happens when 2 competing air masses collide right over the Midlands. Let me break down what is actually happening in the atmosphere. We've got a rather complex setup developing. There's a low pressure system currently sat out in the Atlantic, approximately 500 miles west of Ireland, and it's deepening. The Met Office unified model shows this low tracking northeast passing just northwest of Scotland by Friday morning. However, and this is where it gets interesting, the European model suggests a slightly different track, perhaps 100 miles further south. That 100-mile difference changes everything for northern England and southern Scotland. The isobars are tightening, which means increasingly strong winds. For those along the western coasts, Blackpool, Liverpool, Plymouth, and up through Oban and Ullapool, winds could gust to 80 kilometers per hour, possibly 90 on exposed headlands. That is certainly blustery enough to cause disruption, particularly on higher ground. Let me give you the broader picture across England. Brighton, relatively sheltered tomorrow, staying around 10 degrees with only light showers. Oxford at 9 degrees, mostly cloudy but dry. Cambridge at 8 degrees, similar story. Nottingham, you're right on the edge of where conditions could go either way, showing 10 degrees tomorrow with rain possible late afternoon. Southampton at 11 degrees, breezy with occasional showers. Leicester at 9 degrees, and here where that model uncertainty comes into play. If the European model is correct, persistent rain from Thursday afternoon. For those in Sheffield, Leeds and York, you are in the transition zone. Sheffield at 9 degrees tomorrow, Leeds at 8, York at 7. All 3 locations sitting right where milder Atlantic air meets colder air lurking over the North Sea. This boundary could produce surprisingly heavy bursts of rain Thursday evening, and there is an outside chance of sleet mixing in over the Pennines, particularly above 300 metres. Actually, I should be more precise about that. When I say sleet, I'm talking about the higher peaks of the Peak District and Yorkshire Dales. We're not expecting significant snow accumulation, but if you are planning hill walking, do check back tomorrow because the snow level could fluctuate quite dramatically. Now, Scotland. Edinburgh at 11 degrees currently, dropping to 9 tomorrow with showers becoming more organised Thursday. Aberdeen, bizarrely mild at 11 today, cooling to 8 tomorrow. Inverness at 10 degrees, holding steady tomorrow but turning wetter. The Highlands could see proper snow above 600 metres, possibly 20 to 30 centimetres on the highest peaks by Friday morning. I know this isn't ideal for those planning travel to the Cairngorms or across the Central Highlands. The A9 could see tricky conditions Thursday night into Friday. Nothing like the beast from the east, but enough to require caution. For Glasgow, Dundee, Perth and Stirling, temperatures between 9 and 11 degrees through Thursday, with rain becoming more persistent overnight Thursday into Friday. The West Coast, including Oban and Fort William, rain arrives earlier, probably by Thursday lunchtime, and could be rather heavy. We are talking potentially 40 to 50 millimetres in exposed locations. Let me address Wales properly. Cardiff, Swansea and Newport, you are facing the heaviest rainfall of this entire system. The Met Office is showing 60 to 70 millimetres possible in South Wales between Thursday evening and Friday morning. That's enough to cause localised flooding, particularly in areas with poor drainage. Bangor and North Wales, slightly less exposed, probably 30 to 40 millimetres. Hang on, let me check that again because there's been an update. Actually, the latest model run suggests those totals for South Wales might be even higher. We could be looking at 80 millimetres in the valleys. That moves this from concerning to potentially quite serious. The Rhondda, Merthyr, and areas around Pontypridd need to pay close attention. Do check back tomorrow, because if this trend continues, we might see the Met Office upgrade their warnings. Right, Northern Ireland, Belfast, Derry, and right across the province, you're in for rather grey few days. Not the heavy rain Wales will see, but persistent fine drizzle that just seems to never stop. Temperatures staying around 8 to 9 degrees, relatively mild, but with that persistent moisture, it is going to feel rather damp and miserable. Back to England's coastal areas. Dover, Folkestone and the Kent coast, you're seeing an interesting wind direction change Thursday, currently southwesterly, swinging to northerly by Friday. That brings cooler air across the channel. You'll feel that temperature drop quite noticeably from 11 degrees Thursday to about 7 Friday. Penzance, Landsend and the far southwest, you are getting battered by this system first. Rain arrives Wednesday evening, heavy at times overnight, easing by Thursday lunchtime. Winds could gust to 90 kilometres per hour, possibly 100 on exposed headlands. The Isles of Scilly, you're really in the firing line. Do secure anything loose. There's one location that could see something genuinely unexpected. But first, let me address the pressure systems, because this is where that technical detail becomes relevant. We've currently got an occluded front developing, essentially where the cold front catches up with the warm front. This creates a rather messy situation meteorologically. The Met Office model shows this occlusion passing through the Midlands Thursday evening. The European model has it arriving about 6 hours earlier. Normally, a 6-hour difference isn't T-critical, but in this case, it determines whether Birmingham, Coventry, Wolverhampton and Leicester get caught in the heaviest rain band during rush hour or miss it entirely. This is precisely why I keep saying check back tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, we'll have the overnight model runs, and this timing should become much clearer. I'm not trying to be vague, there's genuine uncertainty, and I'd rather be honest than give false confidence. Bristol, Exeter, Gloucester and Bath, temperatures around 10 to 12 degrees through Thursday, with rain likely Thursday afternoon into evening. Bristol could see 30 to 40 millimetres, not quite as much as South Wales, but enough to cause surface water on roads. The M5 corridor around Bristol could be particularly affected. Let me talk about wind chill. Newcastle, Sunderland, and up the northeast coast, temperatures might say 8 or 9 degrees, but with winds gusting to 60 or 70 kilometres per hour, it's going to feel more like 4 or 5 degrees. Layer up if you are heading out Thursday or Friday, and here is that unexpected location, Scarborough. You are sitting right where that cold North Sea air could get trapped against the coast, whilst milder air pushes in aloft. This creates a temperature inversion. Instead of getting milder like everyone else, you might stay stuck at 6 or 7 degrees, whilst York, just inland, reaches 9 or 10. A localized quirk of topography and air mass boundaries, right, it's around the 3-minute mark, and I want to remind you again, drop your location in the comments. I am genuinely reading these, and tomorrow's forecast will specifically address the areas people are most concerned about. The more specific you can be, the better. Isle of Wight faces a blustery day Thursday with showers, temperatures around 11 degrees, winds gusting to 70 kilometres per hour across the Solent. Ferry services might face disruption. Let me address what happens into the weekend. Saturday currently looks like a transition day. That low pressure will have moved through, but we'll be left with rather unstable air. This means scattered showers, some heavy with possible hail in the north. Temperatures generally between 7 and 10 degrees. Sunday looks slightly better. We might see some sunshine developing, particularly across southern England and the Midlands. Temperatures recovering to between 9 and 12 degrees. But there's another system developing in the Atlantic for early next week. The models are struggling with this one. The GFS model shows it tracking south of the UK. The European model has it coming straight at us, potentially bringing another significant rain event Monday and Tuesday. By tomorrow, we'll have much better clarity. Liverpool, St Helens, Warrington, Chester, you are all in the firing line Thursday afternoon. Rain arrives around 3 o'clock, heavy through the evening, clearing overnight. 40 millimetres possible, maybe 50 in exposed locations. Preston, Lancaster, Carlisle, slightly more sheltered from the worst rainfall, but persistent rain Thursday evening into Friday. temperatures around 8 to 9 degrees, feeling colder in that wind. Let me talk about compounding threats. If you are in an area already saturated from previous rainfall, even moderate additional rain can cause problems. South Wales, parts of Cumbria, areas of Scotland, you are particularly vulnerable. The ground simply cannot absorb any more water. That's why those rainfall totals for South Wales are such a concern. There is hope, though. By next weekend, we might finally see more settled conditions. A ridge of high pressure could build from the west, bringing drier, calmer weather. Temperatures might even climb slightly, perhaps 13 to 15 degrees in the south. The Orkney and Shetland Islands face very windy conditions, with gusts potentially reaching 100 kilometres per hour Thursday night into Friday. The Hebrides, similar. Stornoway could experience gusts to 90 or 100 kilometres per hour. Reading, Slough and the Thames Valley are relatively sheltered Thursday. Rain possible late afternoon, temperatures around 10 to 11 degrees. Bournemouth, Poole and Weymouth face breezy conditions Thursday with scattered showers at 11 degrees. Ipswich, Norwich and across East Anglia, you are in an interesting position. Currently looking mostly dry Thursday. Temperatures around 8 to 9 degrees. There's a possibility of rain pushing in from the west Thursday evening, but the models aren't fully in agreement. Derby, Stoke-on-Trent and the West Midlands should expect rain Thursday afternoon and evening, heaviest between 5 and 9 o'clock. Temperatures around 9 to 10 degrees. Now we're approaching the 12-minute mark. If you haven't already, please leave your location in the comments. Tomorrow's forecast will be even more detailed, and I want to make sure I am covering the areas that matter most to you. This isn't just about broadcasting information, it's about having a conversation about the weather that affects your daily life. Looking at the bigger picture, what we're seeing is typical Atlantic weather for February. These rapidly developing low-pressure systems are entirely normal for this time of year. What makes this one notable is the intensity and track, bringing heavy rain to already saturated areas. The jet stream position is key. Currently it is positioned right over the UK, which is why we're seeing these active systems tracking straight across us. If the jet shifts slightly north or south, our weather would be quite different. Temperature-wise, we're actually running slightly above average for early February. Normal temperatures for this time of year would be around 6 to 8 degrees. We're seeing 9 to 12 in many locations, so a degree or two above norm. Not dramatically warm, but certainly not cold. The feels like temperature, though, that is different. With the wind and rain, it is going to feel considerably colder than the actual temperature suggests. Factor in the wind chill, and it's going to feel more like 5 to 7 degrees in many areas Thursday and Friday. Right, let me give you the summary. Wednesday evening, rain develops across southwest England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Thursday, rain spreads north and east across all areas, heaviest in South Wales and the southwest. Winds picking up, particularly on western coasts. Thursday night into Friday, rain gradually clears eastwards, but strong winds continue. Saturday, scattered showers with sunny spells. Sunday, looking drier with some sunshine possible. I'll be completely honest, there's still uncertainty about that Sunday into Monday timeframe. The models are showing quite different solutions for early next week. That is not me hedging, that's just the reality of forecasting 4 to 5 days ahead. The atmosphere is chaotic and small differences now lead to big differences later. What I can tell you with confidence is that tomorrow's update will give you much better clarity. The overnight model runs tonight will help resolve some of these uncertainties. That is why checking back daily is so valuable during unsettled periods. For tomorrow's forecast, I am going to focus particularly on those areas where the model uncertainty is highest. The Midlands, Northern England, that transition zone between milder and colder air, that's where I want to give you the most detailed breakdown. I am also going to look ahead to next week in more detail. That potential system for Monday and Tuesday, we'll have much better information by tomorrow morning. And just to tease tomorrow's forecast, there is a possibility, and I stress possibility, that we could see some snow across Scotland next weekend, not just on the mountains, but potentially down to lower levels. It's too early to be confident, but it's something I'll be tracking closely. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate you taking the time to get informed about your weather. Please do drop your location in the comments. It really helps me tailor tomorrow's forecast to what you need to know. Tomorrow's forecast will be live at the same time. I'll be diving deeper into those model differences, giving you more specific timing for your area and looking further ahead into next week. Stay dry out there, stay safe,